Hello everyone, I'm Polly, and before we talk about today's speed build, I just want to quickly apologize for my sudden absence this last month. This break wasn't really like on my plans. Life just happened, I had a really busy month. I was constantly extremely tired, and I didn't want to push it too far and get burned out from creating content or playing Animal Crossing New Horizons. So I just decided to take a step back and focus on using my free time to rest. But I'm back. I can't guarantee that I'll be here every single week with a new video, but I will try to at least post like twice a month, like every 2 weeks instead of once per week, And I know that my schedule has been extremely chaotic, honestly, since the beginning of this year, or even like for the last few months of 2024. Life's just been happening, and I'm just trying to, get through it, I guess. But yeah, and I also want to thank you all, because even though I took this long break, you guys still supported my content. You kept watching my videos and subscribing, and I honestly cannot thank you enough for that. I've taken breaks before, obviously not this long, but I always had this feeling. I was always super stressed out whenever I took a break, because I was worried that it was going to affect my channel and people would stop watching or finding my channel. And honestly, the numbers did go down whenever I took a break before, but that didn't happen this time. I mean, they were slightly lower, but you guys still supported my content, and I really have to thank you, because that allowed me to not feel pressured to make content just for the sake of it, because I like my videos to be good. I don't want to put out stuff just for the sake of it. So I really, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for your support during this month. And I promise I won't be gone for such a long time, in the future, I guess. But yeah, let's talk about today's speed build, shall we? So if you haven't watched the other 2 parts of me building this island is a Japanese-inspired island with a lot of Ghibli vibes, just like a big neighborhood with cozy and relaxed vibes in general. And in the last 2 parts, I worked on the entrance of the island, and I did a little neighborhood to the left of the resident services. So today I'm working on the right side of the resident services, and I'm just extending the neighborhood that I started on the other video. I wasn't really sure if I was going to connect this speed build and the other speed build, like the last speed build that I did on this island before this one, because I didn't really know if it was all going to belong kind of to the same neighborhood, or I was just going to have 2 separate neighborhood areas. But in the end, I decided to make them all just one big neighborhood. And I'm really trying to have different spots that you can access on this island. Don't need necessarily to have any specific kind of function like that fake building that I did right next to the resident services. That's just for show, it's just a fake building that you can climb up the stairs and get a different perspective, I guess. And I also didn't know if I was going to include any villager houses on this video, but I did include them, and just two apartments. But I'm really, really enjoying how this island is turning out so far. I'm having so much fun with it. I also tried to do this kind of bridge between the two areas of this, first ground kind of neighborhood, because it is only connected from the level above. It's not from the ground level. I mean, it obviously can be, you have to access it from the ground level, but you know what I mean. And I wanted a bridge to kind of separate the two areas, because even though they're supposed to all belong to one big area, I still just wanted a little bit of a division. And I just continued the fake building that I started on the other speed build that I just didn't finish because I didn't really know what I was going to do behind the resident services. I ended up just doing like this fake passageway that I will eventually block off, because you can't really do anything there. It's just for show, again, just filler. But I wanted to do something interesting behind the resident services, because I always feel like I don't do anything interesting behind the resident services. So, just so I didn't just have fake buildings behind it, there's a little passage that you can see from this area that I'm working on here, but you won't be actually able to access it. I'm sorry if that annoys you. I know some people get annoyed when people do that kind of stuff on their islands, but it's my island. I do what I want, I also finished off this area up here that I know, I worked on the last speed build, and kind of just tried to blend it all together. I didn't really finish that the corner between the other side of the neighborhood and the side of the neighborhood that I worked on the last speed build, but I'll eventually think of something to do there. I'm just going with the flow with this island, like with all my islands. Honestly, I just go with the flow, see first of all what I feel like doing that day. Second of all, just what fits and what looks cute and what looks better. I thought that this was looking a little too concrete, so I added a little bit more greenery with some bushes, some places to sit. This is like buildings but also passageways. I can't really explain it, you're seeing what I'm doing, so that's basically it. And I didn't flatten my island, so just ignore what's happening back there. I'm flattening as I go. I usually don't flatten my islands before I work on them. I usually flatten my islands as I'm working on them. That's the bridge that I was talking about. That is supposed to look like, you can go under it. I wish we could place bridges between cliffs, like not necessarily with a waterfall there. I don't know why that's such a hard thing for Nintendo to do, but I won't question it. At this point, it's not worth it. And I didn't really know how to decorate this island. I kinda took inspiration from my own island, the last island that I worked on. It was also a Japanese inspired island, but it was an autumn island, and I have this little area with two houses on a neighborhood that have like this deck area, I guess, in between them with some laundry area kind of deal. And I just did the same here, between those two houses. Of course, that I'm not even working on that right now. I'm also going to block this street, to the left. That whole area, it's going to be blocked. You won't be able to access it, just for show. Again, I'm sorry, that's annoying. And I just added some fake buildings because I don't really know what's going to happen back there. Maybe I'll include more houses. Maybe I'll have more commercial kind of buildings, like using the villager houses for that. But yeah, I don't know. At this point, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But here it is. I did it just like I did on my other island. I didn't really think too much about it. It looks cute, okay? It also fits this theme, this aesthetic, this vibe, so I just went for it. Why waste a lot of brain when you don't need to, right? And I placed that stairs code there. What will happen there? I don't know. Again, who knows? Something will happen, and I'll show you eventually. But yeah, let's see the inside of the houses. For these two houses, I went with the apartment kind of deal, kind of aesthetic. I didn't really feel like it made sense, these two houses being any type of commercial building. So, I just did some pretty homes. I tried to include, different stuff. I'm having so much fun with interior kinds of custom design codes, because I never have space for that, and I have space for that on this island. So I'm exhausting the thing. I'm using a bunch of custom design codes. I'm sorry, my brain melted there. And I'm trying to make the houses look super cozy. So I'm also trying to experiment with lighting and stuff like that. You'll see in the end I play around with the lighting for a little bit. I don't know if I'll keep it. I feel like these two houses kind of look dark in comparison to the other ones that I did last time. So maybe I'll make them all dark, like all throughout the island. Maybe not. I'm thinking of setting the A at like 6 a.m. or something like that. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but yeah, I'm feeling like early morning. I like the light of the day. It looks cute. It looks peaceful, and I want that. Or maybe a sunny day, because this island is supposed to like be happy and stuff. So maybe a sunny day. Let me know in the comments. What do you think looks better for this island? A sunny day or like early day? But I mean, it's still a sunny day, but very early in the morning. That's what I mean. I kind of like that idea, but I usually set my DAs either early in the morning or like at sunset. So I feel like it's a little bit repetitive. So if you have any other suggestions, please bring them my way, And I wanted to have more plants inside the houses. So I tried to use the vines and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't want it to look like a jungle necessarily, but just like it has a lot of plants and greenery inside, bringing the outside, like nature feeling of the island inside the homes. Let me know. Is this cozy? Is this like moody, or is it too moody for this island? Sometimes it's hard to figure out the right balance. Just something you need to do. I went with a slightly different aesthetic. I was feeling like it wasn't looking very Pate. This is Pate's house, by the way. The other one was Gala's, my absolutely favorite baby. So happy to have her on this island. So happy to have a good excuse to have her on an island. But I digress. This is Pate's house. And at first I was like, maybe I'll go with the blues, she's blue. But it was looking, I don't know, masculine, I think. This not dark wood, but it's like light wood that is kind of dark. Can't explain it any other way. And the warm toned wood, I don't know. I felt like it was looking kind of boyish, and I did not want that for pate. Like, nothing against it, but I want girly. So I ended up changing the whole color palette. Not the whole color palette, but a big portion of the color palette of this house. I changed the walls, I changed the color swatches for things, you see? Completely different here. I feel like this is way more pate. You know, do you agree? Did you like it better before? I don't know. It still looks kind of dark because of the light choices. But yeah, I just feel like it's kind of moody and fun and cute. And this is the final result for the whole area. I really like how that flower shop turned out. Looks so cute. The little fake building that you can access, but there's really nothing for you to do there. You know, why not waste some stairs on an island, right? Who's never done it before? Don't judge if you haven't, but here we have the two villager houses with Gala working out in front of her house, keeping in shape. Cannot relate. And we have more fake buildings and a little barbecue back there. And I just want this vibe, barbecues and neighbors. Well, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying this island. And if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll promise I'll be more active in the future. And if you haven't watched the other parts of this island, go ahead and do it, okay? Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!